What's up and welcome to Motivation. I am your host, Jesse Sheridan, and just bringing you guys out here on a beautiful Sunday night in Melbourne, Florida. And I'm just going to go for a ride. I'm coming from a Ninja 400 for about 8 months, and I'm about 215 pounds. So that was kind of like a circus bear on a tricycle, but it was my first bike, and it was a great foundation, quick enough to get on the highway and to get out of people's way who were being silly driving, and a nice little commuter. And graduated from that and picked up this 2025 Ninja ZX6R, and what a difference, man. Just the power range, the level of power, the stability. The Ninja 400, you could feel the crosswind and get blown around on the highway. But the ZX6R, man, oh man, so stable on the highway. It just loves the highway, and so do I. So testing out the new DJI Osmo Action 4 with the DJI Mini Mic, or Mic Mini. So that's what we're testing tonight, and take you guys along. Enjoy this sunset. Sunset is in about 23 minutes. So there she goes down that way. So let's get on it. But before we start, this is Psalm 34, verse 19. A righteous person faces many troubles, but the Lord comes to the rescue each time. Now, what makes us righteous? There's nothing we can do, but it's just by believing. Believing what? That Jesus is who he says he is, the Son of God, and that he came from up above, conquered this earth, rose from the dead, and is seated at the right hand of the Father. So that scripture could say, the person with faith, or the person who believes, faces many troubles, but the Lord comes to the rescue each time. All right, let's ride. Oh yeah, real quick. Just a quick look at this thing. I got the white color, is either that or the black or gray gunmetal with the light blue. I had a little Glock sticker as a secondary security defense system, and a Glock on that side with a nice little M4 GP19 slip on. Eventually I'll get the tune, but let's do it. Oh, you gotta do that. Try not to be too loud in the neighborhood here. We're all renters, so I'll try to be respectful. Actually, I probably should get some gas eventually. See, it gets up pretty quick. Much different than my 400. How you doing? Sometimes I use the quick shift, but in first and second I don't use the quick shift because I could feel it jolt a little too much for my comfort. But in third, fourth, fifth, sixth, yeah, definitely. a couple of takeaways that I've gotten from my driving school, the motorcycle class. Oops. Is ride like nobody sees you. Ride as if no one sees you. And on the throttle hand, keep at least this and 3 fingers or 2 fingers on the fixed part of the throttle, so you have some stationary part to grip. Rather, if something happens, you're not going to spin the throttle. You got some firm grip to hold on to keep your throttle hand under control. That's come in handy a lot. Started practicing wheelies a little bit. Probably got 8,000 miles under my belt on a bike. 7 with the 400 and 3 now with the ZX6R, so I figure I got a good enough foundation to start practicing a little bit on wheelies. I tend to gravitate towards power wheelies, using the bike's power. Using the bike's power rather than a clutch up. I have not gotten used to a clutch up yet. I'm a little bit of a bigger guy, so I can pull up the wheel pretty good while giving it throttle. First gear is super easy. Second gear is a little harder. You got to go a little faster. First gear typically around 20 miles an hour. I find it easy to power wheel you up. Maybe we'll catch this sunset, huh? Yeah, this ZX6R, man, it's just so stable. So stable. Now don't get me wrong, I love the Ninja 400 as a starter bike. I did a lot of research, looked at the R3. Shoot, I even looked at the Suzuki, what is it called? Montezuma? Intezuma? Something Zuma. But the price range was what caught my eye with the Suzuki, but then I had to settle down and think more practically of what would make sense as far as what I want to do with the bike. Commute, have power to get out of somebody's way if they're acting foolish, take the highway. So the Ninja 400 had great power considering my size. You know, I think it was like 0 to 60 in like between 3 and 4 seconds. So no problems there. But like I said, it gave me a great foundation of riding, and I just fell in love with Kawasaki after all this research. And comparison videos. That always sounds good under there. Like I said, I got about maybe a year of riding under my belt. My Ninja 400 had ABS. Never used it, never needed it. I think one time it engaged and it was unnecessary. So my ZX6R, I did not have ABS, which helps for wheelies, I hear. But I used to live in Long Island for most of my life, so I've always wanted to ride or get a motorcycle, but the winters up there are long, and it's very populated, and the potholes are terrible. But coming down here to Florida, man, you can pretty much ride all year round. It just made sense. But yeah, coming from a 400 to ZX6R, man, you gotta hold on. It's power, so much more power, and yet still controllable and manageable. But man, do you feel a difference. Woo! I remember taking it home from the dealership, and wow, it was amazing. Just substantial amount of power. But I still got to learn how to rev match. I heard a little bit about it. I still got to understand the pros and cons of it and then see if it's worth it. But as you can see here, people come and dig the sunset. So we'll check it out a bit. So a little bit of view for you guys. What time is it? Sundown in about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. But at least we got a quick peek. But we'll keep riding. Get some gas. Let's do it. Nice night. always appreciate people who see ya. Forgive me if my voice is a little loud. I have the mini mic in a tough position, first use, still testing it out. So if I'm talking funny, it's pressed on the side of my mouth. I always try to engine brake as much as possible to save the brakes. I believe in respecting people's neighborhoods, like that sign, caution, horse area. And on the highway, only when I know it's super clear. Not take too many unnecessary risks. I'm thinking longevity, you know. But try to be respectful in neighborhoods and do unto them as you would want to have done unto you, right? It's just smoother. Quick shifter's a little smoother third gear and up. First and second, it's a little more of a rougher transition. So I typically do the manual clutch in first and second. Third and up, quick shifter's like butter. That's just me personally. Hopefully you guys don't hear me breathing. That'd be annoying. I know when I'm watching videos, hearing people breathe is a bummer. So